this video, we're going to create a program in Python that takes in a number and returns the factorial of that number. So first off, what we want to do, let's have a try here. And we're going to say number equals the integer. We're going to convert the input of whatever the user enters into an integer. So we'll say enter an integer. We'll give them directions to do that. And we'll accept a value error and print you must enter an integer. Okay, and we probably want to have this within a while loop. So we'll say while true, and we want to get this stuff over like so. And we also want, once they do enter an integer, to break out of the while loop. Okay, then we want to take their input and we want to have some kind of function to do something with it. So let's create a function. Let's call it find underscore factorial. We'll take in some number. We'll say if the number is less than 0, we'll just return you cannot have the factorial of a negative number. Okay. Otherwise, if it's less than 1, or if it's less than 2 rather, then we're going to return 1 because the factorial of 1 and 0 is 1. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll return the number times this find factorial function, passing in the number minus 1. We're going to have a recursive function here. So let's say they pass in 5 here. It's going to go down here and do 5 times the factorial of 4, which is going to be 5 times 4 times the factorial of 3, so on and so forth until 1. So we're going to get 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, and then down here, we probably want to print, let's do an F string and say the factorial of, we'll pass in whatever number they put in, is, and then we'll pass in find factorial, and we'll pass in the number, okay? And that should work. And let's test it out. So enter an integer, let's enter 5. Factorial of 5 is 120. Okay, so we may want to do this. What we may want to do is be able to run this multiple times. Okay, so let's say let's do another while true. And let's move all this stuff out here. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll go back here and we'll say something like keep looping equals input. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? And we'll say y/n, okay? And if, it should be keep looping. If keep looping, let's say it does not equal y, we will break out of this one, okay? That should work. Let's try it. Enter an integer. Let's do 5. Okay. So now what we need to do is break out. Okay. And so we see that it prints it out after we asked if we wanted to do the loop. So what we want to do here is we want to get rid of this here and let's put it here. Okay, now let's try it. All right, enter an integer. Factorial of 5 is 120. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? Yes. Enter an integer. Let's do -1. Factorial of -1 is you cannot find the factorial of a negative number. So maybe that's not particularly user-friendly. Let's actually just return an F string here. And we'll say the factorial Yeah, but then it's going to keep returning f strings if we're the recursive function, so we really can't do that. Let's do a condition here. We'll say if number is greater than 0, then we'll print this out. Otherwise, what we'll print is we'll print the find factorial function with a number. And that should, what is number? It should return the statement, you cannot have the factorial of a negative number. Okay, let's run this. Enter an integer, and let's do 5. Factorial of 5 is 120. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? Let's do 4. So that'd be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 24. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? Yes, let's do negative 2. You cannot have the factorial of a negative number. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? Yes, let's do 0. Okay, that's 1. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? Let's do 1. It's also 1. Do you want to do another one? Let's do 2. Okay, that works. So it seems to be working. Do you want to find the factorial of another number? No. And the program ends. Okay. The last thing we could do, just to make this nice, is print something like, thank you for using the find factorial program. And at the beginning here, we could say something like, welcome to the find factorial program. All right, so let's run it. Do another test. Welcome to the find factorial program. Enter an integer, 5. Factorial of 5 is 120. Okay. Do you want to find another one? No. The one thing I'm thinking here, let's just give another direction. Enter an integer to find the, let's say, to find a factorial of a number, enter an integer. Okay, and let's go right here and just do a new line. Okay, and let's test this out. Welcome to the find factorial program. To find the factorial of a number, enter an integer. Let's do 6 this time. So 720, that's correct. Do I want to do another one? Let's do 3. 3 times 2 times 1 should be 6. That's correct. Do I want to do another one? No. Let's break out. Thank you for using the find factorial program. And there we go. We've created a nice program there that takes in user input, converts it to an integer, make sure we're entering an integer. Let's test for that, because we haven't tested for that. So let's run it again. Enter an integer, A. You must enter an integer. Okay, so it says no. Let's do 7. Okay, so factorial of 7, that would be 7 times 720, because 6, factorial of 6 is 720, so it would be 5040. Okay, so that works. Okay, so now it does seem to work. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.